don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
Real news about real topics. That's what I like about this show.
Our mode for the most sincerest expression.
So it's truth and jest. I pride myself on saying real
What they don't tell you podcast.
People don't even notice I'm saying.
I'm just using your gifts as a vehicle.
They can feel it, but I don't think they really know. But they feel it, because when people come up to me, they say it. I love that.
I was looking for advice from people in the industry how to not have to compromise.
Ooh, boy, it's hard to be woke. What they don't tell you podcast.
How do I do this without having to compromise who I am, what I represent, what I want to share, how I impart my gift? It's my real truth.
Is that even fucking possible? Am I allowed to say fucking? Bleep that out.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
Hello, world, and welcome to another episode of What They Don't Tell You podcast. We are your hosts, DJ Mifflin,
Keisha Williams.
Keith Vance.
and we are the B Squad. That's right, black entertainers, just telling you guys to be educated, be encouraged, and be enriched. Sorry about that, guys. I'm a little happy today. We're having a good day today. We guys,
It's a good day.
you know, guys, y'all gotta understand, we have a good time while we're all set. So even when we're recording, we're actually hanging out. You know what I mean? Talking and eating. You know, just having a good day, spending the day together. But for you guys today, we have a great show. We want to thank you for joining us on Live 365, Anthem Tongue Radio. You can catch us Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. on the East Coast, 8 a.m. on the West Coast, and 6 p.m. international, okay? All right, guys, so stay tuned. We got a great show. B Squad in the building.
What they don't tell you
What they don't tell you.
podcast.
Got some questions for us? Hit us up at WTDTY Global at Facebook.com.
We want to hear what you're thankful for.
And we're back to What They Don't Tell You podcast. This is the thankful segment. Today we want to do something different. We want to actually explain to you guys why we picked thankful. Why is it that we are expressing our thankfulness, I guess you could say, at the beginning of the show every day? It's because we believe that this is something that's very important. A lot of times we're too busy asking. We're too busy complaining about what's going on in our lives. We're too busy doing more prayer and not enough meditation, doing more looking for something or trying to fix something instead of just being thankful for what we have in the moment, because there's always somebody doing worse than you are. So for me, I just wanted to express and explain to our listeners why we call every day, or we get calls every day, or we, talk to people and say, what are you thankful for? Because it's very important. So for me, just right now, it's thankful for wisdom, thankful for being able to express myself freely, thankful for family, work, health. What about you guys?
Right. All that good stuff. I guess me, like, what this thankful segment means to me since we've been doing it is, like, I'm thankful for y'all, and I'm thankful for this.
Yeah.
Like, for real, I'm thankful that all of us have been able to come up with something collectively together from a different aspect to possibly help someone out or anything. Like, I'm definitely, I like that we chose thankful, because a lot of people aren't thankful enough when they should be.
Facts, that's true. I'm actually thankful for, similar to both of you, like just having an outlet. But when I say an outlet, it's not just creatively, but just to vent. Like, I have family and friends that are like super supportive of me that I could go to at 2:00 in the morning and, really just let all of my feelings and my thoughts out. And they'd be sleepy, but they try to listen.
Right. And the thing is, for me, like, I wanted people to understand that when it comes to this segment, a lot of times we picked this one. We could have done so many things, right? We could have chose different concepts and ideas, but every day in this industry, you have to be thankful for something, because that's the process. You have to take it in steps. You can't just come into the thing thinking you're going to be successful. You have to be appreciative for the little things first. Thank you for someone just checking me out. Thank you for an audition. Thank you for, I maybe not got the role, but the opportunity to consistently audition and better my craft. Thank you for classes. Thank you. Because once you start being acceptable of the little things, the big things become nothing to you because it's just the icing on the cake. You expect that to happen because of my due diligence of being in the moment and being humble. And that's what we always want to talk about. When we built this show, it's just us expressing our opinions and views on things that we went through. So when we talk about the things that we talk about on here, it's based off our views, okay? So we're thankful that you guys are allowing us to just speak our mind, educate you on some things that we've seen, been through, and heard through the people themselves, okay? All right, so stay tuned. We got a great show up next. Keisha with the Bee's Nest on What They Don't Tell You podcast. B Squad's in the building.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
Hey listeners, we have a YouTube channel now, so you can check out all of our past episodes, or maybe you just want to hear them again. So check out WTDTY podcast on YouTube.com.
This is Keisha Williams with the Bee's Nest. Be enriched, be encouraged, and be entertained. So for today's Bee's Nest, I wanted to talk about something that kind of brings a little joy to my heart, because being a thespian, I always love to see people performing on stage. And also this year, it's kind of bittersweet because COVID prevented me from being able to actually use my tickets to go see Hamilton. And now...
Yeah, I heard that was good.
Yeah. I mean, it's supposed to be a great production, and it's supposed to be really exciting to be a part of. And with the lead, Hamilton, being played by Leslie Odom, and it being a Black lead, it was going to be just as spectacular.
Can you break it down to me? What is Hamilton about? Like, because I'm really always wanted to know.
It's literally about Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. He was like, is it that simple?
He wasn't black. That's white.
No, it's just cinematic.
There's a lot of hip hop. Only reason why I'm asking, it's a lot of hip hop in it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
They kind of flipped it to make it kind of, cater to the youth.
That's why seeing Leslie Odom Jr. play Aaron Burr, actually not Hamilton himself, but playing Aaron Burr, it's just super exciting. And so what is happening now, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this, is because it is actually going to be released by Disney Plus. So not necessarily the full Broadway production itself, but since Broadway isn't moving forward, Disney obtained the rights to actually move up the release date of the movie that they were doing that would be depicting Hamilton.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to be airing in July. So the fact that they were able to do that is amazing, considering they actually paid a groundbreaking $75 million for the worldwide rights to turn it into a streaming exclusive instead of releasing it in theaters.
So let me get this straight. It's going to be like an actual, like it's going to be like how they did the recent musicals, where they have them on film. You know how they have it on the local television, where they had like the Oz and things like that done with the stars. So it's going to be in that kind of development where it's going to actually be a Broadway show put on for TV.
Well, it's going to actually include live performances from the original Broadway cast, right? So you're going to see some of the same people that you would have seen if you were able to see it on Broadway, but now seeing it on your television right at home.
Right, so it's not like a film depicted off of the Broadway musical. It's like the actual Broadway musical recorded live on TV. Okay,
exactly.
That's tight.
Exactly.
Right, cool.
So for people who didn't get to see Miranda,
and that helps because of COVID,
Hamilton.
so you don't have to.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you can't make it to the show, at least you can catch it on TV. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then, so you'll be able to see Leslie Odom Jr., who plays Aaron Burr, David Diggs, who is playing Jefferson, and Philippa Sue, who is playing Eliza.
Okay.
So a lot of the original Broadway cast literally are going to be there right on your screens, right in your homes.
Keith, you gonna go check it out?
Probably not.
Well, he doesn't have to go anywhere. I mean, it's just streaming at home.
Nah, I probably won't watch it at home either.
Oh, no Disney Plus for you?
It's not something I catch myself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's great and stuff, but I mean,
No, I mean, I might check it out just because I used to do musicals, so it'd be something new to check out. See what style.
I was gonna watch it. I'd want to see it live.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's the type of person I am. That's what I was thinking when you said that. I'm like, is that gonna hurt? the actors and the people that were in that play that it was supposed to be live. Yeah. It's not going to be the same experience that
we're gonna find out.
I don't think it's gonna hurt them because it's still not gonna be the same. Like the transition from theater to film is not the same. Like the feeling that you have, I think, watching a movie at home versus sitting in the theater watching them perform live. Like it's just completely different.
And I think I would enjoy it more in there in the theater.
And you're gonna have a lot of the youth, like the teens, that are really into those kind of things. They don't care if they don't make it to. They're gonna watch it anyway, just because I could watch this over and over. I got a cousin who literally knows like every song on the soundtrack. She's like a fan of Hamilton. They'll listen to the soundtrack over and over. Like I was like, yo, this is that good. Oh my god, the production is so awesome. I'm like, really? Okay, cool. But it's young, so we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, and the great thing is, it doesn't matter pretty much what platform you have. You can stream it on anything, right? Yeah. So for people who may not feel as comfortable, Keith, watching it out in your living room with your roommates or whatnot.
South Central ain't on Broadway. I don't want to watch it.
He said,
don't be a menace. Better be coming to Broadway. I mean, I'm not there.
Right, I think you can stream it on anything that you want to.
He said, if John Wick is not coming through the stands, I don't want to watch this shit. No.
I'm just saying, man. Like,
it's John Wick on Broadway.
You know what I mean?
I'm there. No, I'm joking. No, but I'm gonna check it out just because I want to see the new look. I mean, I think that's where we're going with the whole. Because of quarantine and we can't really leave our homes, that's what we're going with. So
yeah, and I'm like, so being able to still get the culture in, regardless of where you are. It's a step in the right direction, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So this has been Keisha Williams with the Business. Be enriched, be encouraged, and be entertained.
All right. Thank you, Keisha. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Up next, hot topic on What They Don't Tell You podcast. B Squad is in the building.
What they don't tell you. What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
All right, and we're back on the What They Don't Tell You podcast show. Well, okay, and we're back to What They Don't Tell You podcast.
Podcast show.
We're back, guys. We're just having a good time on the show talking. We got a great hot topic for you today. Today's hot topic is called Moving Market. Basically, this topic is dealing with
moving on up.
Big markets, where they're located, where to go if you really want to be successful in the business. A lot of times in this business, you're going to have the opportunity to move around, try different locations, experience different assets in the business, whether it be in LA, whether it be in New York, Miami, Georgia, all these different things.
Oregon.
London, Paris.
Oregon.
Yeah.
What the hell is in Oregon?
Yeah, Oregon.
What?
Okay, whatever. Anyway,
Oregon is not a market. Maybe that's where you get started in comedy.
No, you do not want to get started in Oregon.
You don't want to get started in comedy in Oregon.
But I mean, that's what brings it up. Like you said, London, Paris.
Yeah, like those kind of things. See,
Sydney,
Japan.
Right. Yeah. And see, in film, New York was the spot to be if you wanted to deal with daytime soaps, daytime TV series, or things like Law and Order, SVI, those kind of things. LA was the movie, the film, the commercial kind of print. New York
was fashion.
New York was fashion.
Okay. Definitely.
But I was gonna deal with
that. Would you say like Atlanta, the Dirty South was music? Or
music.
But I mean, I can't really say that though.
But it's
New
changing.
York is music. Son.
It's changing now though.
Yeah. Well,
California had music too.
Yeah.
So I guess what you would say is,
get a lot of
where do you have to be for what you want to do?
Exactly.
DJ?
That's the question. Where do I have to be to do what I need to do? Well, first of all,
I can't wait to hear this. Let's hear it.
Because the moving market has changed in the last 10 years. See, at one time when I came into the business, you were looking to be,
Bi-coastal?
Bi-coastal, that's it. Yeah, you were being bi-coastal, where if you wanted to do a specific range.
Well, so when you say bi-coastal, for people who aren't as familiar, how does that translate for an actor when you're talking about bi-coastal?
New York is for a specific type of work. Like we said, soap operas, daytime soaps, commercials, commercial print, fashion, dealing with where, you deal with a little fashion with with film. LA was strictly movies. You know what I'm saying? Commercials
and stuff.
Television series, you know, those
promotional work.
Right, promotional.
When you're talking, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was that big market. But you wasn't going out to LA for so much modeling. Unless it was like we talked about.
Not high fashion.
Not high fashion.
Right.
New York was runway modeling. All those kind
LA
of things.
did have a model scene though, but it was more
right.
like
But it's right.
It was models that you saw in promotional work. You saw them in a commercial aspect. You saw them in music videos.
Right.
So it was like I need a girl who might be exceptionally pretty, or like a model style girl to be in the music video.
Yes.
Or you're looking for someone who has the good teeth, the great skin, the nice hair, because she's going to be on these commercials. You think of like your beauty models when you're doing like your makeup care and your skincare lines. Like you needed people who were already out there who had all of that or paid for it, whichever way you come by it.
However you choose to.
And in LA, you could probably expect a lot more people to have paid for it.
Right.
Versus
But do you
being in
think
some
there's
of the
a
other
bigger
markets.
fashion scene in like Paris and shit?
No,
that's
the kicker.
That's
International is a whole nother level.
Yeah.
See, when we're dealing with international, that means you're in a whole nother bracket.
You sound get excited.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm glad you asked.
Because that's the bread. No, because I'll put it to you like this. It's Keith. It's like music. You can do a certain type of music and do well here in America, but if you get a chance to get international exposure and really not get a lot of American exposure,
You're saying take it.
what? It's a lot more opportunity. It's a lot more money because international has a whole different feel for America. You know what I'm saying? Like you look at a lot of musicians and artists like Wu-Tang and so forth. Like they are gods over there. Like they can get so much, you know what I mean? Like I've actually met artists who are overseas and killing it, making royalty checks. But in America, like we have no clue who you are.
But you know what? It's not even just. I was like, because sports are like that too.
Yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
so
You'll
if
make
you-
a
if
whole
you
lot
don't
in
quite
soccer
make
than
it,
you will
yeah.
in NBA. Trust
Yeah.
me.
But there's still international. There's still international leagues. Like I met a dude who like played international ball, and I think he played like for Germany, and then he moved and he played for Italy. So it's funny because when I saw Love and Basketball, I didn't realize how big of a thing that was. That there was literally a step in between making it to the big leagues here.
Right.
In the U.S.,
Yeah.
you could go and play international ball, and now you see people do that all the time.
Right, and they was doing that before it was even popular. You know what I'm saying? They were making small change, but it was a way to make a living outside of the mainstream market.
Right,
wanna
and
be
then
an
still
actor,
come home and be at home because
If
that's
you want
the
to
thing.
be an actor, you have to go to LA. If you want to
Right.
be a model, but I mean, don't
But
they have
not
a fashion
anymore.
scene there like you live in America?
I mean, Miami does, but Miami's model market is different. Like that's really where you go for sports, where you go for fitness,
Or
where
a
you go
strip
for
club.
things that are very much
or a
body
strip
related.
club? Are you kidding
No,
me?
look,
Video
King of
fictions.
Diamonds
No,
is. If you ever go to King of Diamonds in, I mean, I'm not. Well, yeah. So, like I was saying, for models,
Tell me what?
no, I mean,
They got
the talent,
drive-through. They got
the
drive-through
talent?
strip clubs.
We did
in
talk about
in
that.
Florida.
We
Drive-through
did
strip
talk
clubs.
about
Yes.
that. That was very weird.
Telling you can
but
make
that's
a
just
living.
because of COVID. Like they didn't used to exist
Yeah.
prior to COVID, right?
Right.
They got it together.
Sure. Okay.
Brothels are different.
They didn't
So,
have this before
what I'm
that.
saying
Sure.
is- yeah, I mean, but in Miami, a lot of
Tony
stuff
didn't
is,
have this in the back of the bayou over there with the strip club
He
drive-through.
said in the back of the bayou.
Yeah.
Now
This
we
thing's
come to
been
New
going around.
Orleans.
This thing's been going around, people.
Yeah. So,
Sorry. But no, I'm just saying.
you were asking about Miami as a market. No,
Yes.
Miami's still a viable market too. Like when you think of promotional, when you think of sports, when you think of fitness, things like again that I said that are body related, even features and parts modeling,
Right.
Which a lot of people don't think about. But when you are,
But I think
doing
wherever you are is
certain
where you make it,
commercials-
right? Like wherever
again?
you're at is where you can like turn it into that though.
True.
I mean, it's where you can start, but you can't. Sometimes you can't stay in some places and expect to quote unquote make it. Sometimes
Right.
you're gonna outgrow the market that you're in. There's a reason why if you start in the Midwest,
deep.
for instance, and it's not
Outgrowing them.
Chicago
Yeah.
or something like that, it's gonna come to a point where they can't sustain or provide you the amount of work for you to make the kind of livelihood that it would need.
Right.
They can't take you to the next level. Like that's why you see so many people who start off with their parents as their manager. At some point, you're gonna outgrow your parents because if you started as a child whether the relationship doesn't work or their business acumen
Or
isn't
you
big
just get
enough, you
grown.
can't take.
Start
Yeah,
getting
you
your
get
own, take it
grown.
for
You
your own
outgrow
initiative.
them. You need someone who can actually grow your career and take you to the next level because they've already been at that level. Not
Keisha,
let's keep learning together,
me ask you something.
pace by pace.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe that when we talk about movie markets, that's what we're coming to is where even now the smaller based areas are starting to expand? Because the reason why I'm asking this is Sleepy Hollow was in North Carolina. I shot
That's
that
where it
show
was filmed, right?
I shot the film. I filmed it in Wilmington, North Carolina, because they had Screen Gems. It has a movie out there. Sorry, Screen Gems has a
Screen
movie
Gems.
lot out there, right?
Screen Gems.
They've been out there since the 80s. Eastbound and Down was shot out there right before us. Dawson's Creek, same area. You feel what I'm saying? Those
Look,
areas.
North Carolina used to film a lot of
A lot of
productions,
stuff.
but they didn't come down on the taxes.
Now tell
they
them
were
why.
making the same concessions.
Now, Keisha, tell them why you would not necessarily book if you lived in North Carolina so much as booking and working in North Carolina.
North Carolina is like, I think some in some ways the way I look at the Atlanta market, in that you can learn, you can train, but you haven't been training at the same caliber and same level as people who are in a LA or in a New York per se.
Right.
Because a lot of these child actors have been doing theater on major stage plays and productions that have that same, it's almost like a credibility sort of thing. It's almost like there's tiers to this, right?
But where are they booking? Like, where are they actually solidifying the roles? Is it in North Carolina?
No.
Or is it,
And that's why I asked you that. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
you were talking about, I was like, where a production is actually filmed is not the same thing as where the casting
Thank you.
is done.
That's where I'm getting. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, and that's why that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was saying when I was
Yeah,
asking you, because
yeah.
I was like, okay, just because they film, you can film anywhere in the world,
Right.
but they are casting out of specific markets.
Right. And that's why I brought that up, because a lot of times people think when they see something on TV, oh, I got to move there. It's like, no, not
Walking
necessarily.
Dead was filmed out in the middle of like
You know what I'm saying?
nowhere's Georgia places.
But now when we say Georgia, it's different because, there's a lot of, now what's going on, guys, is we're dealing with property, land,
Yep.
real estate, having places to be having locations that we are able to shoot and able to produce product is now becoming more of a factor than I need to get to LA to get something done. They're leaving LA because it's too saturated. They're leaving these big states to go places where they can actually save money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's literally what it's boiled down to. I mean, because that's why everybody's loving to come to Atlanta, because it's a tax break. You know what I mean? They're getting a lot of incentives to be able to shoot here, and they don't have to be priced as much as, say, New York or LA or, you know what I'm saying, all these big areas. So that's what we're dealing with now.
But I mean, speaking of Atlanta, I mean, have you seen a lot of like great production come out of there so
Hell
far
yeah.
from Atlanta?
A lot of your shows now is coming out. You got Coming to America that's going to be shot. It's going to be coming
it was
out.
being shot, yeah.
It was
Yeah, it's
being
been shot.
here in
Rick
Atlanta,
Ross's
yeah.
crib. Like,
That
that's
was
here in
post-
Atlanta.
Pre-COVID, I mean.
Yeah, that was
Right.
pre-COVID.
And like I said, there's other places now, because like we're finding out there's a lot of great shows that aren't shooting in locations. Like I know, what is that show? They got a couple shows being shot in Texas. They got some shows in Miami. We're dealing with shows that are going to Hawaii. Remember, Lost was shot in Hawaii,
Yeah.
right? You have films shot in Washington State. I think Ozark. I can't remember where Ozark was shot at.
I mean, at the end of the day, you can shoot anywhere because
Right.
in film, it's still movie magic. So as long
Right.
as it looks like what we need it to look
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
then you don't know how they're editing all of that stuff together. But
Right.
again, it just looks the way it needs to.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even for me, like, I'm being from the Midwest, we were casted in a film, and at the time I was doing extra work, and it was a film that was produced by, or directed by Glenn Close.
Okay.
And it was literally like a sequel. It was Sarah Plain and Tall 3.
Oh. Good.
And we have a place in Kansas where it's called Cowtown, and it's literally like an old prairie town, like it's Western. It's got the farms. You can get you some sarsaparilla from the soda shop.
Oh,
like,
shit.
It's super, like legit.
Bougie.
Like, they make taffy. They make, like, the original candy. So, not even bougie. Like,
I'm joking.
like it's literally, like, Old Town, Cowtown. Like, literally, like, cowboy.
Yeah, the bougie country folk.
Like, Little House in the Prairie. And to find a place like that already exists without having to build it, that's why you can film anywhere. Like, a lot of these small towns have so many things to offer, like little hidden gems.
Exactly.
And I was like, it's cheaper for me to just go to the place that exists, small town anywhere.
These small town create this fantasy here that will help build and bring money into the community.
They're down for it. You know what I mean?
They could get a whole town to be. That's the one thing about Wilmington, North Carolina was crazy. Like, you would be downtown and you'll be walking, going to get some food, and it's like, as soon as you walk in the store, a whole production, like 3 or 4 guys from production with headphones just walking out. You're like, what I missed? Am I on set? Like, you just feel like, because it's just people everywhere that's just coming off production. So it's like they have their own little world going on, but the film area is right around you, and you could actually be sitting there seeing celebrities just coming to eat because they're in town doing the shoot, you know what I'm saying, for a film or for a TV show. It's crazy. It's wild, but it's like it makes you appreciative more so in a smaller town. But once again, we're coming to a time now where even the small towns are starting to book big names. But once again, guys, you got to understand the companies that are booking this work is not necessarily in those states.
Right.
We're still dealing with the big areas. Like, you still got the companies coming out of Atlanta. You got the companies coming out of LA, New York. I think that's pretty much really the big outlets right now. Maybe Texas, maybe? You think?
Nah.
I don't feel like, people film in Texas, but I don't know if it's like a big market compared to the other places we named. Chicago.
I'd say there would be
because
more
when you say LA
going
and New York, because they're the Meccas, they're originals.
The main two, right? The originals, Hollywood, you think of LA.
Right.
You know, Broadway, you think of
New York.
Yeah. And I was like, even for me, when I think of music, I have a tendency to think of Atlanta because I spent so much time in Atlanta. But also, you can think of a couple of different places like
Jersey,
you think of
Connecticut.
California, you think of Compton,
Jersey,
Bronx,
Connecticut,
you know, when you think of New York, you have to name the boroughs individually because of the amount of music that's come from New York and where those people were from, you know.
Hip hop started in New York.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
So did hip hop fashion and streetwear.
So I guess
which then came from here and then went to Japan. It went to Europe. It went all over the world, and it was a global impact. Right.
Yeah.
And that's one thing we have to understand too, is even on the international level, marketing yourself out there is totally different. Like, you see the British. I shouldn't say it like that. You see actors from a British background who are doing American work because they're changing their. So, but do we? Australia? The question is, how many people do we see going over there from America that's being able to get work? You see what I'm saying? It's.
We're going over there. And
are they even trying to go over there?
I don't know, but it'd be interesting. I would love to see if there are any actors that are doing that, being able to go over there, present a British accent, but knowing they're not even from there, they're straight American, but they just can handle it. Now, when it comes to Shakespeare type pieces and stuff like that, I'm sure they have a lot of people over there who are able to work on Broadway, or, you know, James Earl Jones is making a killing overseas off of, what is it, Fences? Isn't he doing Fences over there? Or is it Death of a Salesman? I think it's one of those two. He's actually overseas doing right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's just, it's about doing your homework, you know? So the moral of the whole topic is if you're a beginning artist, someone who's trying to find their way into this business and trying to find a place to get settled to be able to, you know, begin your career, you got to find out, you got to do your homework, due diligence, because, you know, now we're at a position where, you know, you could be at I guess you could say you don't have to be at New York or LA so much anymore.
Oh, definitely not.
You know what I'm saying?
Not.
You could be outside areas and really looking to produce product and produce work that you can be looked at by people in those locations. That's possible. Because now social media and everything is so big, now we have that opportunity.
I think you just got to be online now.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If you've got content online,
you're killing it.
You can make it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the good thing about content online is that you're already establishing a brand. You're letting people know what they're getting. It's basically just creating a reel that people can subscribe to.
Right. Right.
Very true.
So I don't have to ask if you're funny. I saw your skits.
Right.
I don't have to ask if you can act. I saw your skits.
Exactly.
I don't have to ask if you have personality. I saw your
You
skits.
better preach, Keisha.
Right?
Out here talking.
So there's nothing that you have to do.
Offering.
The proof is in the product,
Right.
and that's how people, based off of the following and the viewers and the people who actually like what you're doing.
Right.
I think sometimes, it's hard to always know where to go. Or how long to stay might probably be a better thing. Because I think a lot of people move to an area and they're trying to make it time and time again, but it might be time to move to a new market if you're not getting picked up where you are.
And it's not always having to be a Hollywood market.
No, I just said
Like
a new
there's
market.
independent, but that's the main thing everybody wants to get to, and they don't never think about the small narrative of it all. Like we always look to head to Hollywood, to head
Bigger
to
and better.
bigger, better things, but we don't think about the small run, like independent work, claiming those independent straight to DVD or small indie films and things like that, to where you collect that little paycheck. And I don't disrespect to the projects. It's just the fact that we're talking about comparison to Hollywood and so forth. Collect that small check. It's not a lot, but it adds up. Because it creates you create a level for yourself. So you don't think a casting director comes in and sees a kid who's maybe been on 2 major Hollywood films, but then he goes and gets the next kid who's been like 30 films altogether, but 2 maybe have been known. He's like, this kid is out here getting it.
Yeah,
like,
and people
it's
are
the hustle.
getting him, right? You're like, he's getting booked consistently.
Come on, man.
Same age, but you're looking at the amount of work that person has done.
Right.
And sometimes you're right, people are so caught up in the credits being weighted, right? So if it's a Hollywood film, if it's a mainstream film, then that's considered to hold more weight because of what the box office. What does that have to do? The number of tickets sold have no ties to your actual performance in the film. Right? It might, but it doesn't mean that they bought all those tickets and that means you're a better actor than someone else who has been in more productions that are lesser known.
Well, listen, guys, we want to thank you for joining us on this topic. Fortunately, that's all the time we have. But we'll continue to just think about this, man. We may come back to this one. We may come back to this kind of conversation because I like that topic. It's something we want to speak more of on. But stay tuned. We have more show for you. All right, Keith's coming with that real spiel on What They Don't Tell You podcast. Keith's coming with that real spill, so stay tuned on What They Don't Tell You podcast. B Squad's in the building.
About real topics.
Send us your questions, tell us your thoughts. We need your feedback, so send us an email at WTDTYglobal@gmail.com.
What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Keith Vance with some of that real spiel.
Wow. Such an intro.
So extra.
You know how I do, man. I just, you gotta love life at all times. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Today, y'all, I just wanted to come on in and I wanted to talk to you guys about speaking things into existence and the fact that manifest destiny is so real that we can taste it at this point in time. I think everyone is like at an energy point in life.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, with everything going on in the world, and people can really like see their thoughts and their words coming into an actual reality. But I want to say that words only have power if you put some motion behind them.
Right.
So you can say what you want, you can do what you want, but it's like you gotta have some power behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted to talk to you guys about this.
Manifest destiny.
Manifest
That's
destiny.
deep.
In the industry now. Like, do you think that if you go to the same spot enough times, eventually you can run that spot? If you just believe it enough? And you're like there, and you're doing what it takes to get that spot.
We're talking just as an artistry, like
as in anything.
Like going
I'm talking
to,
about like literally manifest destiny. I'm talking about you, DJ. You said I want to get on television. I want to act. I want to get in something.
Right.
you spoke it. You believed it.
Oh yeah, I put it in. Yeah, you have to write it down and make it plain. That's something we always talk about, and we always educate. And I was educated in the industry is you always want to write it down and make it plain. I made it perfectly clear that I wanted to go to school for film and TV. I wanted to go professional once I graduated, which I ended up going professional right before I graduated.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said by the age of 30, because I was told by my deans that you're not going to really start picking up work till you're in your 30s. So I said, well, by 30, I want to be on TV. At the time, I didn't realize what I was saying and how I was putting it out, but I made it to Sleepy Hollow by 33.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So I manifested that dream, and that the destiny was set for me. But one, I didn't know.
I like the way you threw that
you know
in
what I'm saying?
The destiny was set.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't know what it was going to do because it was a gift and a curse, because I spoke it out there to be something I wanted. But I also said I want to be as real as possible in this business. It's not so much about the money for me. So I put it out there. I just didn't realize what I was asking for. And when I got it back, it was like, oh, but I'm going to have to learn some stuff. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So it was like...
And what about you, Keisha?
Well, I mean, I was gonna say when I think about that, and even in teaching, I tell my students, like when I first meet them, that every business needs to have a plan, and a business without a plan is a business that's planning to fail.
Ooh.
So it's you need to be super intentional about what it is that you want to do.
Right.
And a lot of times I ask them, like, how many people did you even tell that you were coming here? And they'll be like, nobody. I was like, you ain't posted on your social media. You didn't tell like family and friends besides the people who helped, get you ready for this journey by believing enough in your dream to help finance it. And they'll be like, no. I said, so you ain't telling nobody but yourself?
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you. Well, I mean, I think that the universe is truly listening to all of us more than ever before. So what I want to ask all of our listeners, and as well as both of you, was there ever a moment that you actually saw yourself speak something and then it happened like right after?
I gotta think on that.
That's a lot of times I spoke something and it happened.
And it happened like right after?
I mean, I could tell you stuff that just wasn't even in film, but it's just an example of how it's possible.
Okay.
Or like you're like walking through a store and then Google starts sending you something from that store.
No, that's not the same thing. That's because your location is on the device.
You got them feds listening. No, no, but I mean, like 2 of my friends, they met their wives. And when they met them, I told them, I was like, you're going to get married.
Oh, I've done that.
And it was like years down the line, it actually happened. But I knew it was going to be it. You know what I'm saying?
Happily married?
Still to this day.
Yeah,
and we're talking about 10 years strong or plus.
We're matchmakers, DJ. Look at that.
But you know, it's just
that kind of thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
But it's just the concept, or just an example of how you can say something and see it and really say, yo, that's gonna happen. And then when it happens, you're like, I told y'all that was gonna happen. You know what I mean? Even though you may have been just talking because of what you felt, but you really spoke something that you believed out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying they got married because of me. I'm saying I was the one who put that stamp on it. You know what I mean? To confirm, hey, y'all guys, it's too real here. I see it happening. You know what I mean? And both of those couples are still together till this day. So.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I was gonna say, I can think about and maybe it's just more a female thing, I don't know, but vision boarding. People who like at the beginning of the year, I was like, it's the new year, so you want to do your vision board for the year. I had a friend who was very strategic and very specific on the things that she put onto her vision board.
Oh wow.
And before the end of the year, almost everything on that board had manifested.
Wow.
It was all she had a new job, she had a new car, she relocated. Like her life was on the up.
That's
just
what's
based
up.
off on the up. Like everything was just a steady
Yes,
up. I mean, there were very few like step backs compared to the year before where she hadn't done a vision board. She hadn't clearly stated what she wanted and threw it out there to the universe, as some people say, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's awesome, because I manifest about women a lot.
I feel like that's a
You know, a lot of times I like to say that I want a particular woman, right? And it really...
left. extra left.
Just saying, we're talking about manifest
Yeah,
destiny.
we
Sometimes you
are.
want to,
Nope.
taste the waters that you never tasted before.
Okay,
No.
all
And
right,
sometimes
y'all.
you speak it out there.
That's what you're
and
speaking
just
out
so
there,
happens
that you
she
want
was
to
at the
taste the
grocery
rainbow.
store.
You Skittles now? You want to taste the
Saying,
rainbow?
Just
That's
so
what you're
happens
talking
she
about?
happened to be at the grocery store that week. I was like,
But
damn,
anyways,
I asked
y'all,
for Asian.
This has been
No.
this has been another segment with your boy Keith Vance. This has been
No,
some of that
DJ.
real spiel. Y'all
not being
stay
real out here.
tuned. We got a lot more content coming your way.
Damn.
All right, y'all. Stay tuned. B Squad's in the building. Say B Squad.
B Squad.
Say it loud.
B Squad.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
I ain't stupid. All right, we are back on What They Don't Tell You podcast. Man, this was a great show, guys. We had a good time today.
Man, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Always a great time.
Oh yeah.
Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us.
We want to thank you, DJ.
Aw, that's so... No, that wasn't... Yeah, sorry. No. You guys can always tune in and check us out Monday through Friday weekly on Live 365. You can always catch us weekly, Monday through Friday on Live 365 Anthem Tongue Radio, 11 a.m. East Coast, 8 a.m. West Coast, and 6 p.m. International, okay? We want to thank you for putting the global in WTDTY. Once again, we are your host, DJ Mifflin.
Keisha Williams.
And Keith Vance.
And we are the B Squad. All right, y'all take care. We'll see you again. B Squad in the building.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.
Real news about real topics. That's what I like about this show.
Or mode for the most sincerest expression.
So it's truth and jest. I pride myself on saying real
What they
shit.
don't tell you. Podcast.
People don't even notice I'm saying.
I'm just using your gifts as a vehicle.
They can feel it, but I don't think they really know. But they feel it, because when people come up to me, they say it. I love that.
I was looking for advice from people in the industry how to not have to compromise.
Ooh, boy, it's hard to be woke. What they don't tell you. Podcast.
How do I do this without having to compromise who I am, what I represent, what I want to share, how I impart my gift? It's my real truth.
Is that even fucking possible? Am I allowed to say fucking? Bleep that out.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
What they don't tell you.
Podcast.